by the marathoner. And I think it sort of brings you to a reflection of your past and where you're going. And now that we don't have carbon shoes or shoes with carbon to race, maybe you can tell us how we can get into that future without getting so much worried and seeing gloom in it. Welcome. Let's welcome Dr. Munang.
Thank you very much, Mr. Karanja, and the leadership of the entire Nairobi Academy, the faculty, teachers here today, proud parents. I'm sure you must be very, very proud. Graduation days are days in which you don't only get excited, but at least you know that you are crossing into the next level and to the esteemed 13-year graduating class. Clap for yourselves. Give a round of applause to them. And the year 12 and year 11 students, all protocols observed. I know that there were a lot of people who must have been very, very talented and have skills better than myself that could have been called to be a guest speaker, but I think that having called me to be here today, I do appreciate it, and I think that it's testament to the fact that each and every one of us have our time. And that time may not be every day, but that time will come. So I am deeply honored to join you on this occasion today. And we are congregating here today because of your hard work, because of your dedication, because of your focus, and because of your self-discipline. And I think the amazing panelists this morning, they hit it out of the park. I think you are lucky to have listened to them, because those excellent ideas that they brought out this morning, it's very rare to hear them at one go, from athletes to MCs to teachers to musicians and to people who are working in the development space, like Hannah. You all heard it, and therefore to the parents, your dedication to shaping and helping these young men and women to not only graduate today, and also to the faculty for your encouragement and for your dedication. I'm actually a trained teacher. My first degree was in physics and education, so I know a thing or two about teaching, and I know what it takes and the difficulties sometimes, and also the pleasure that comes with actually having to impact knowledge on students. So I salute you all for a job well done, so clap for yourself. As you transition into higher education, you are getting into the realm of more responsibility. With responsibility comes not just the spotlight on you, but also comes the moment for you to cement your legacy. Legacies are earned, they're not given. And legacy entails endurance. And from the panelists' discussion today, what came out very clear is that each and every one of us have to give back to society. And because of that, you are graduating here today. Your parents, your community, your peers, your country, the entire African continent, and even the world is looking up to you for solutions. Regardless of the field that you will engage in, as you live here today, regardless of what you are going to endure your time and sacrifice your time to learn, what is going to be very, very important as you live here is going to be value. It's going to be one word: value. That's what makes the difference in the world. It's not where you come from, it's not the country you come from, it's not the community you come from. It is what you bring to the table, and that is called value. That's what makes the difference. Your value and usefulness will be your ability to generate solutions to the challenges that we face today. And delivering solutions that impact life is what is going to distinguish you from success and failure. It is what is going to ensure that it can distinguish you with progress from retrogression. It is what is going to ensure you that your value can actually stand out from meaninglessness. My call to you today is very simple. Always aspire to inspire others to devise solutions. By aspiring to inspire others, You will be striving not just to be an exemplary solution provider in society, but you'll be setting the stage for others to learn from you. Because in your own right, you are a leader. Leadership is personal responsibility. It is not titles that we carry that matters. It is what we do that can be able to move the needle forward. It is what we do that can be able to inspire others to set them to action. That's what matters. And age is just a number. It is never too young or too old for one to be a leader. And that responsibility is bestowed on your shoulders today. As you graduate, the theme today is very, very important. And what I was asked to talk on, shifting from compliance to engagement and to empowerment. Very, very important theme. And it's a call for you to be not just authors of your life, but to be owners of your own learning. Because that is quite very, very important. And to empower yourselves for solutions that touch lives beyond yourself and beyond your immediate family. On every stage that I've had the opportunity to stand on, I've made it very clear to everyone, regardless of what age you are in and which institution you work in, what you do should always be beyond thinking beyond your own country, beyond your own continent, but thinking the global stage, but at the same time also understanding that the local communities do need you regardless of whether you come from there or not. Because what will change your life will not necessarily be just your family. It will not only be those you know from your own country, it will be someone just from somewhere who will pick on what you can offer that value, and that will change your life. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, this resonates powerfully with my own lifelong journey to the environmental sustainability and sustainable development space. It underlines the need for all of us to become change makers, especially in a world, regardless of where we come from, because we are uniquely made. There can only be one you. You are uniquely made. You are uniquely made and have a unique purpose. And therefore, it is up to each and every one of us to find that unique purpose. Because the purpose of life is to be useful. Anything less than that is something I don't know. And our usefulness should be to turn challenges into opportunities. My journey started in a very small village in the northwestern part of Cameroon called Jinquin. I grew up, just like many across the entire African continent and right here in Kenya. I grew up in a life of harsh realities. Going to school without shoes, that's not a problem. Going to bed without food, that is not a problem. It helps one to build resilience, because let me tell you this. Excellence is an offshoot of resilience. Excellence is born out of resilience. You cannot think that you will be excellent, that you can be able to become resilient just because you wish to. No, it is circumstances that will shape you to develop that excellence, to unleash that potential, to be able to navigate that turbulent water. And by growing up, I saw crop failure in my mother's farm. And I used to question myself, why is this so? But one of the worst moments came when my mother returned back from the farm and told us that we are not going to have food for the entire month. And this did not only cause despair. I could see in my siblings' eyes water tearing down, because we knew that this had consequences not only for us not having food to go to school. We had to beg from our neighbors. And the consequences of having to beg from our neighbors cornmeal and beans was something that we were not used to. But this was the moment that I started asking questions. What can I do as I study to think of solutions that can be able to turn this challenge that was facing my own family and my own community? And it's what I call my moment of epiphany, the moment that I started to think, whatever thing I study, I will make sure that I pursue that to the end, to be able to find answers to these regular dwindling crop yields in my mother's farm. But as I studied from university and got a master's, a scholarship to study for a master's in Nottingham University and later on a PhD, the focus never changed. The focus was, what will be the solution to be able to address this challenge that started in my mother's own farm? But the understanding climax in what we call today climate change, that is manifesting itself through droughts, through floods, through heat waves, and much more distressing the entire planet. But over time, what I came to realize was that millions of men and women across the entire world, our brothers and sisters in communities across the entire world are facing the same predicament like my mother and her peers in the village face. But I came to realize one thing, that we are comfortable sometimes communicating only problems and not solutions, and problems dissuade. Problems do not inspire, it is solutions that inspire. But I came to realize that in every challenge lies a disguised opportunity. And these disguised opportunities are actually what we need to focus on. And so everywhere I go today, I carry my story and my heritage with pride. I carry my background and the lessons I learned growing up in that small village in Jinkwing with pride. And as you heard today, where you come from determines where you will go. The values you learn from this institution today, that you've learned over time in this institution today, know that those values will take you somewhere. And as your head teacher did say, there are certain things that will never ever be taught through machines, that will never ever be taught through any other space, but the values from your home, the values that your teacher have instilled in you, the value of usefulness, the value of offering value, the value of selflessness, the value of dedication, the value of kindness. These are ingredients in us that today, if we miss to have them in us, regardless of where you go, you will not be able to navigate with ease. These values, I carry them with pride today. You may wonder why this call I am bringing up here is important to you as you graduate today. You are stepping into a world that is wrestling with significant challenges, including climate change, including biodiversity loss, waste that we see each and every day, pollution, air pollution that is killing over 700,000 Africans each and every year. These are not just statistics, these are our brothers and sisters. These challenges are not just looming threats, they are our present-day reality. But what is more encouraging is that taking action to address these challenges, we can turn them into opportunities that can be able to ensure that those mothers who go to bed with their stomach aching of hunger can no longer happen. For example, as we're speaking, one of the major challenges we see each and every day, and that we know is the drought that we've seen in the news. And this is worsened by climate change. Last year, silver countries, including Kenya, where we are in today, endured worst droughts in 40 years. Over 90% of open water resources dried up, and up to 1.5 million cattle died, valued at over 300 million US dollars were lost. Just imagine devising simple climate action solutions of solar dryers, where youth from the informal sector are actually trained to devise them. That will be able to reverse the 300 million US dollars, where meat can actually be processed and preserved. Simple solutions that sometimes we don't communicate them, but we look only for big solutions that can come from elsewhere. Why I'm bringing this up today is that your talent and your skills are needed right here in this continent. They're needed right here in Kenya. They're needed in your community, but sometimes we are made to believe that we cannot be able to do it. And that takes me to a point that is important. Lack of self-belief is something that you should be able to project. And because of that, you need to be fearless. But as you are fearless in devising solutions, don't be careless in the process. Fearlessness should never lead to carelessness. You should be able to guard your name, as you heard today, because in the name, Richard Munang, it is not Richard Munang as a name. It is who is behind that name. In your name, it is not your name, but it is who is behind that name. And to guard that name, you have to work hard. And working hard is not just to score good grades. It is in devising and retooling your skill and making sure that you are matching with the times. Because without that, you become redundant and irrelevant in the process. The world is changing so fast. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, there are opportunities from West. We are seeing countries like Kenya here putting in place plastic ban that we've seen in the news, which is an opportunity that is creating enterprises. And we're seeing young people who are turning plastic waste into pavement tiles that are 30 times cheaper than conventional concrete. We are seeing young people across the continent turning agricultural waste into biofertilizer that is tapping into a market that is worth over 5 trillion US dollars. And right here in Kenya, we are seeing young entrepreneurs generating up to 560% of profits through making and trading in biofertilizers. These opportunities hidden in challenges remind me of an insightful African proverb that every adversity carries with it the seeds of equal or greater benefit. That every challenge is a disguised opportunity. That as you move to the next level of your studies, you will choose different disciplines, but the formula to succeed is same. Success is hidden in challenges. Success is hidden in challenges. And so as you face challenges, never ever faint, because without challenges, what are you going to show different that other people have never ever done? You should be able to step into the challenging arena to devise solutions. That is how you make a name. That's how you make progress. It is not inconvenience that we make a name. It is in inconvenience that we create solutions that can create convenience for others, that we make a name. So read widely on solutions. Develop a teachable attitude. Without being teachable, you cannot be able to make progress. I got my PhD 14 years ago, but I learn each and every day. You must be able to learn not only from those who have gone ahead of you, even from those behind you. Everyone we meet knows something that we don't know. Everywhere we go, you will meet people, regardless of whether they are taking first in class or last, they have something that you do not. And that is our uniqueness. And as you step into university, have this in mind. Engage your teachers and enrich your thought process. And in all this, dig in, hold on tight when the going gets tough. Because on the other side is where solutions lie. But as you resolve to act, I would like to leave you with the following guiding principles. The first is very simple. Regardless of what you do, if you do not cultivate purposeful passion, as you heard this morning, you will not be able to make a difference. I hear a lot of people say we must be motivated. Motivation is short-lived. What makes the difference is that internal fire in you that burns and makes you get up every day. Whether you are having a job or not, that makes you get up, because with that passion, that fuel, I call passion the new currency of now. Without passion, we cannot be able to drive transformational development. Because when you throw money on someone who is passionless, that money will be squandered and nothing will happen. But give a passionate person ideas. That person will turn those ideas into money and drive solutions that people will be coming to that person. It is what makes a difference. It is not taught in the classroom. It is you, the individual, that have to reignite your passion to drive transformational solutions for people and planet. And that takes me to the second point. As you do this, you must master yourself. One of the most important aspects that sometimes is not always told is that you must realize that the hardest and most important person to manage is not him or me, it's not her or me, it is you. The most important person to master is yourself. Know what you are good at and perfect it. Don't be everywhere and nowhere. Yes, you might feel excited in that, but it takes you nowhere. But in mastering yourself, what you're going to understand is that most of the time you will face circumstances that will tend to reinforce negative attributes of who you are, negative attributes of self-doubt, negative attributes of whether you can do it. And you will face this from society. Whether you like it or not, you are going to face this. You face this in your workplaces. Whether you like it or not, you are going to face it. You face this in your community. You face this even in your family. You will face it, whether you like it or not. Where you doubt yourself. You will face this everywhere you go. And these circumstances sometimes will put you down and make you doubt your abilities. But while this doubt will come, what is most important is how you respond to it. And that's what I've learned my entire life and my entire career. And this takes a resolute mindset. It takes a resilient mindset that you need to cultivate to understand that we're living in a world in which we're going to get everything thrown at us. But how you stand out is not that you will not be thrown those things, is that you will focus your mind to know that even if they say anything about you, you know where you are going. You don't get distracted from where you are going. So become your own cheerleader. Don't always wait for the applause in the crowd, because it's not all the time that applause will come. But it is the passion in your performance, that self-endurance, that ability that you can be able to determine for your own self that you will do it, and you do it. That even when the applause is silent, yes, you will still hold the stage and act as if nothing was happening. That's what makes the difference. And that takes me to my third point. A lot of us fear failure. A lot of us fear failure. Failure should never ever be feared. It is a stepping stone to success. It is a stepping stone to succeed, because as you traverse this new chapter of your life, as you graduate here today, remember that your path will not always be smooth. 99% of the time you will find it hard. You will start with an idea, it will fail the next day. You will start with an idea, your friends will tell you, you are doing this, you think you are who? You will get negative energy sometimes, and you will tend to give up. You will fail, you will not even get the best result. Sometimes you will come last. But what I keep telling each and everyone is that failure is not a stop sign, but a rerouting sign. It is not a stop sign, but a rerouting sign that you need to change tactics and approaches. Because let's face it, you will make mistakes 99% of the time. But the difference is, do you learn from them or you give up? Because if you don't fail, you cannot know. If you don't know, you cannot grow. If you cannot grow, you cannot be able to drive transformational development. Mistakes and failures are the beginning of success. And always remember that every downfall is a valuable lesson. And every misstep is a stepping stone to the next transformational journey, only if you learn from the mistake. And therefore, always remember that you have to build a mindset that I've told you, the mindset of resilience, the mindset of solutions, the mindset of understanding that when you fail, it is not the end of the world. And you overcome any difficulty that you come across in your entire life. Remember this, success is only 1% ideas. 99% is in doing. And that takes me to this point, which is an important point, because a lot of us tend to get somehow disgruntled and disenfranchised when we are criticized. You will face criticism. Face it paved with the stones of diligence, stones of perseverance, stones of persistency, and sometimes you will be criticized for things that are even right. You will do right and you'll be told that that is wrong. You will face that. And then you become disenfranchised and said, oh, why are they criticizing me? Yes, I said you will be criticized. And it can feel harsh, but it's often the catalyst that we need to make progress. It's a sign that we are challenging the status quo. It is a sign that we are pushing the boundaries, and that is good. But what you need to do is that next time they criticize you, don't let it deter you. Instead, embrace the opportunity and learn from it and grow from it and refine yourself. But as you do this, always remember that just as diamonds are shaped under pressure, so are you. And that's my challenge to you, Nairobi Academy graduates. You will soon be graduates. Is to dream big, you were told this morning. But dreaming is not enough. As they say, act on those dreams. Retool your skills. Become passionate. Aim high. And act with purpose. Act with conviction. And understanding that decisions are what makes the difference, but action is even more sweeter. And steer off false narratives. The biggest problem that we have today with the advent of social media and artificial intelligence and robotics, this fast-moving target world in which we are in today is also coming with challenges that if you're not careful, you will tend to believe in falsehoods. And falsehoods are going to keep you behind, because then you will believe in them, and by the time you are catching up, it is too late. Interrogate and understand that sometimes what you are told is not always right. That the world is going to stop tomorrow will not stop tomorrow because you have been told. It is what you do today, because the future is not created tomorrow, it is created now. Your actions today determine your tomorrow. As my mother would tell us, you do not feed a chicken on the day you are taking it to the market. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, above all of this, you must have faith and hope. I know that a lot of us talk about hope, but hope is not a strategy. What makes the difference is faith, a belief that I can be able to get up in the morning and do it, even if it is difficult. That despite the fact that my community doesn't have water, I can introduce rainwater harvesting. That self-belief that you can do it, that endurance that I will get up, I believe that I can do it, that is the faith we need. And that faith ushers us to do and carry out actions. And from actions, hope kicks in, that we can now hope that if we do much more of these, tomorrow will be much better. So staying on hope alone is a failed strategy. We must start, we must self-believe, and that gives us that faith that yes, it is possible. Because as I said, action is much more sweeter. And when you do this, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, you realize that empowerment is not just the ability to change your life, but the ability to change your community, the ability to change your country, the ability to change Africa and even change the world. But remember this, as you graduate and live to the next level, that one who wants to lift a rock must start by lifting stones. Sometimes we think that we need to start big before we can be able to reach where we want to go. That's a false narrative. And I want to debunk that today. You must start by lifting stones before you can lift a mountain. And this is your marching orders as you graduate, that you must become purposeful and responsible solution providers, starting with what you have. And what you have is you. Is yourself. Nobody will think for you. The teachers will do their best. You will be the one to read the books. You will be the one to determine what is right or wrong. Self-discipline is cultivated, and the person who applies it is you. And so this marching orders for you to start lifting stones before you can lift mountains is very, very important. And you must start by looking at the challenges that are around you and your community. As you study, whether you're getting to university, you study physics, chemistry, biology, economy, it doesn't matter. It is what you do with what you study that makes a difference in people's lives that matters. That's how legacies are created. It is not through complaining and blame game that drains energy. It is through solutions and shunning false narratives that you can stand out in this turbulent world. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, if there is one thing that you can remember from what I have said today, let it be this: I was once like you.
Thank you very much. A better clap, a better clap. Listen, if what has been said today from the panelists to our guest of honor, Dr. Richard, if all they have said is all you've had in your life, you are on your path to greatness. Another round of applause to our guest of honor. And now I want to invite our very own Zari with a song.